Hey, what's going on? So, I was right. I called it right. I said that Pacquiao was going to win either by decision or TKO due to cuts and damage. And I got the fight exactly as I predicted. I don't know why guys were debating with me, saying that Miguel Cotto's power would make a difference. Power without speed and elusiveness in boxing is useless. Ask Razor Ruddock and all the other guys. If you're not fast or elusive, you're still going to get hit. So and Pacquiao proved that in this fight. I was extremely impressed. He put on a very dominant performance, and I knew that the fight was going to end this way for another reason also, the corners. Freddie Roach, like I said in my previous video, knows knows how to size up fighters and how to come up with strategies that work. Um, Cotto's trainer, Santiago, didn't really have any serious game plan for Pacquiao other than using the jab. And even that turned out to be ineffective after some time because Cotto kept on trying to get the knockout. Um, he did what he could. He tried to get him, tried to corner him. He tried to go to the body, but Pacquiao was smart enough to stay out of corners, stay out of the ropes. I, I was also impressed because I noticed that Pacquiao was able to take some of Cotto's power shots and he didn't flinch. I knew Pacquiao had a good chin, but I was actually impressed by Pacquiao's resilience. So that was definitely a plus. Um, well, there's nothing more I can say in this video because I already predicted the fight 4 months ago, and I already knew the outcome. So I wasn't too impressed. The fight we're all waiting to see right now is obviously Mayweather Pacquiao, which I'm pretty confident is going to happen next year, simply because the money will be too much to pass on right now. Pacquiao is becoming more and more part of the American mainstream, and Mayweather has already established himself as a mainstream figure by appearing in different shows and events and due to his victories and stuff. So I think right now they're both reaching a status, a level where they can both bring a lot of viewers to the table. Obviously, there's going to be debates on how the purse is going to be shared and who is the bigger draw between the two. Um, but I think that it will be in their best interests to just settle, even if it means 60-40 for Floyd, because I think Floyd Mayweather is the X factor in this fight. I think Manny Pacquiao could fight any other fighter, but it is Floyd Mayweather that makes this fight significant. I think, for instance, if Floyd Mayweather fight against Shane Mosley would sell more than a Manny Pacquiao fight against Shane Mosley. Therefore, I think Floyd Mayweather should at least get like a 60-40 split. But one could also argue that Manny Pacquiao is also a huge reason why the fight will sell a lot. And Manny Pacquiao brings a lot of viewers from Asia, and the international revenues for the fight will be mostly due to Manny Pacquiao's performance, not Mayweather. So you could argue it either way, but I think it would be in the best interest of both fighters to find a common ground so that they can make this fight happen. I mean, the stage is set. You know, Mayweather beat Marquez, Pacquiao beat Cotto. The only other person left will be Shane Mosley, but he's not a big enough draw to warrant a fight with him. I'm sorry. He's a great fighter. I would love to see a fight with Shane Mosley in it, but money speaks, and it will be in their best interest to go this way. Um, yeah, basically, I was reading an interview that Floyd Mayweather just left with Sky News, where he says that he's ready for a fight with Pacquiao anytime, and that Pacquiao should step up to the plate and challenge him. Hopefully, guys, Bob Arum doesn't mess it up, because Bob Arum is very greedy, and he has a tendency to get a little carried away. He gets involved in all these stupid things. He gets in the way of fights that should happen, because he tries to protect his fighters. I was really and I was really hoping that Pacquiao would call out Mayweather after he's beating up Miguel Cotto, but it's obvious that he wants to rest. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Manny Pacquiao made a lot of money this year, up to $40 million. So I mean, he doesn't really need any other fight, and he's been thinking about retiring for some time. But I think deep down inside, as a fighter, he wants to go against Floyd. It's that fighter spirit to prove that he's the best. You know, you can say whatever you want. He can act all polite and stuff, but every boxer has that hunger to come out and prove that they're the best. Especially when you're fighting at that level. You want to take on all comers. I think even Floyd Mayweather, despite some of his acts and behaviors, deep down inside, he wants that fight not just for the money, but to prove something. To prove to himself that he's the best there is. This fight is going to be huge, and I would have to take my time to make a prediction on it. After Pacquiao's performance, I can't be as confident as I used to be in Mayweather's ability to win. Um, but I'm pretty confident that sometime in 2010, guys, we're gonna get probably the biggest fight in boxing. At least up until this point, I think a Manny Pacquiao Mayweather fight will be the biggest fight in recent memory. A repeat of Hagler Leonard, maybe something like that. Very different styles, very different personalities, both very popular, both with a strong following. So it's gonna be huge. Miguel Cotto, big ups to you, man. Um, you were able to stay on your feet. You took a lot of damage, but you need to change your style. You need to adapt. You need to learn to adapt. You need to learn to be more savvy. I think his fight with Margarito messed him up mentally, because normally Cotto would have found a way to slow down Pacquiao, even if it meant slipping in a few dirty hits to slow him down. I think he needs to take some time off, and for Miguel Cotto, the best option would be to go against Shane Mosley. And if both fighters are still fighting by next year, maybe they can go against whoever wins between Mayweather and Pacquiao. Although I suspect that if Pacquiao beats Mayweather, he's gonna retire. And I suspect that if Mayweather beats Pacquiao, unless money is an issue, he's gonna retire. Because if they fight and beat one another, neither fighter has anything left to prove. So, I mean, for Cotto right now, he needs to rest, obviously. He has to decide whether he wants to keep fighting or whether he wants to retire. But if he does, Shane Mosley is there waiting for him. I think Mosley wants a rematch to prove something, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, Manny Pacquiao won as I expected him to. So right now, we just have to wait. There's going to be a lot of other good fights going on before that huge event in 2010. We have the Super Middleweight Classic that is still going on. We have Paul Williams that hopefully he'll end up fighting Pavlik in the end. Um, David Haye is doing his thing in the heavyweight division. I'm going to make a video on that. So, I mean, it's looking good for boxing this year. So, before the main event between Mayweather and Pacquiao, we're going to have a lot of fights going on. Guys, ask me any questions and everything. I don't mean to sound boastful, but I was just being logical. I looked at both fighters, and styles make fights. You can have all the heart you want and all the power you want, but if your style benefits your opponent, chances are your opponent will win. So, like I said, ask me any questions, and let's see what happens in the coming months in boxing. Later, folks.